Orlando! We're home. We're home. I love visiting places, but I love coming home. There's no better place that I love coming home to than Orlando. So, here we are. Goodbye, Orlando International Airport. Welcome to everybody visiting Orlando. Please spend your money at the theme parks. Give us tax revenue. We're almost home, but we're hungry, so we're gonna stop at Rock and Brews, get something to eat. We haven't been back here in weeks, so we'll try it out again. Well, Rock and Brews, tried it again. I ordered a hamburger. Asked for a specific way. They gave it to me the way I didn't want it anyway. Men's room, no towels whatsoever to clean up. Looked like a mess inside. How was your stuff?
Mine was good.
And Jesse?
Okay.
It's hit and miss. I'm not going to be coming back here again, I don't believe. I don't think that they've significantly improved over time, but whatever. Onwards to try Toby Keith's place again sometime soon, so we can see how that's stacking up after the fanfare has worn off. I'm gonna head home finally. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but we're heading across this big bridge, and it's already past 8 o'clock at night, and it finished raining outside, but it looks like the sky is on fire. Holy cow. Hey, we're finally back home. I can't tell you how good it feels to finally be here in the house and not in the hotel room. We had a really great trip out to California. I wish that we had more time to spend out there to do other things besides Disneyland and Summer Celebration. I would have liked to have made a trip over to Hollywood and maybe over to San Fran, but it's just wasn't in the cards this time around, but it does feel really good to be home. We had a really great experience also because one of our close friends, Campbell, who was in our video over the last few days in Celebration, and you guys have seen him in a bunch of videos before, we split a hotel room together. So him and his wife, Pin, and our family all together in one large family suite hotel room, so that was really awesome. You know, it felt like kind of back when you're being a kid and you have people sleeping over and stuff, so that was a lot of fun. But we didn't get a lot of sleep over the last couple of days. I think we slept maybe Jesse's gonna fall asleep while I'm talking. I think we slept probably maybe averaging like 4 hours a night.
I would say about 4 hours.
And you couple that with, you know, had the pedometer going, and we were averaging like 8 or 9 miles a day walking. So,
and that was from what, 8 o'clock in the morning to
so pretty much whatever. Like the days went from, you know, having to wake up between like 5:30, 6 o'clock to get ready and make sure everybody had shifts in the bathroom to being able to eat breakfast, get over to the convention center, which was about a mile and change away, and then trying to eat. Actually, that was one of the more difficult things. So I think if you're ever going to look to try to jumpstart a crash diet to get going, go to a convention for multiple days, because that certainly works out. You know,
No, it doesn't. We ate crap.
We ate horrible food, but it was so sparse. I think, you know, we pretty much would, you know, if it wasn't a point of just like remembering to put food in the schedule, we wouldn't have even eaten, you know. There were days that we barely ate anything at all. And
we didn't eat dinner for one night.
Yeah, one night we were just too tired to eat dinner, so, you know. And as far as editing the videos, thanks for patience from everybody for putting, you know, giving us a little bit of wiggle room, because we had Wi-Fi at the hotel that was free, but not fantastic. So the one video that we did upload from the first day at Disneyland, it took 11 hours for that video to upload. And at the convention center they have free Wi-Fi, but the upload speed,
even worse.
Yeah, a whopping 156K upload speed, which
I kept on getting kicked off all day long.
It was horrendous. So we found out the second to last day, halfway through the day, when I went to the press conference for Rebels, that there was faster press access Wi-Fi in the press room, but we didn't know about it until the second to last day, and schedules were booked. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. What we really liked about Celebration and what we didn't like about Celebration, what we liked about Disney, and all that good stuff. So the main, kind of the main attraction, Celebration. It was awesome. We went to the last two celebrations in Orlando, and I thought this one was bigger and better than the celebrations that we had in Orlando in the past. The size of it was much bigger. The quality, I think, was much bigger or better. But there's one person or one company that puts on these celebration events. It's Reed Pop, and they were really gracious enough to give us press passes. We had already bought passes to get into the event, so we had multiple sets of passes, which worked out. So we were able to get passes, give them out to friends that didn't have them with them. But the press access passes really didn't give us much additional ability. As a matter of fact, it created a lot of confusion. The security that Repop employed to, both from the convention center side as well as the hired help, it was a cluster bomb every day trying to get into the convention center, trying to get access to things. We knew that they had a press room that we were allowed to be able to congregate in before the doors opened up. And be able to get stuff uploaded or articles written, and we had that backdrop in the video a couple of times.
But half of the security didn't even know about the room.
So you weren't allowed to get to the press room unless you asked for access to the press room, because they told us to go into the general population to wait. As well as, like, over and over again, no matter like where you were looking to go at any particular time, it depended on who you spoke to at the event to get specific access or be able to go specific areas. So that was a real bummer. The other bummer was there was a lot of exclusives. So in day 2 video, you get to see Mary and Jesse head off. They kind of broke off to go to Celebration Store to go buy stuff. And Celebration Store, for those that haven't been to something the size of like Star Wars Celebration, it's difficult to explain because it's like the size of basically like a football field, open area with racks of stuff that they have just for this event. And this is something, it's one of those things that the folks that are going desperately want to get things like a shirt and things like that, shirts, knickknacks, things like that. And then they also have show exclusives, so different vendors like Gentle Giant or Sideshow or even Funko. Everybody loves Funko Pop, like little pop figures and things like that. They all have their individual booths that even Hallmark, they have exclusive like Hallmark ornaments that are really collectible. They're in their own booth. You have to get in there, and it's basically like, it's like a general admission Michael Jackson concert back when, 1983. Where people would trample each other to try to get closer to the stage. So they run through the door, try to get in, and security really did nothing to quell that. But in the meantime, the store was so badly operated that every day, even at the moment that the doors opened at 10 o'clock, there was already a line inside for the Celebration Store that would take at least an hour to get into the store, and then potentially upwards of 3 to 4 hours to check out at times.
When we walked in at 10:03, there was probably about 500 people online already.
Yeah. So day 1 we didn't go for exclusives. We wanted to see the J.J. Abrams panel. Day 2 is when Mary and Jesse broke off. They went to the Celebration Store to try to get stuff. Of which we had like this whole laundry list of things we wanted to get. A chunk of things were just not even available because they were already sold out at that point. One of which was, ironically, this event was really there to push The Force Awakens, which comes out in December. They sold a shirt for The Force Awakens, and they made 3,000 copies or versions of that shirt to sell, all of which were gone instantly. Are now selling on eBay for well over $100, and you couldn't get that shirt. And when I asked management why would they have 3,000 of them made, they thought that was what would meet demand. when there was upwards of 50,000 to 100,000 people going through the turnstiles over the week. So 3,000, they thought that 3% of the people that would be attending may be interested in a shirt for the biggest movie in fandom for Star Wars in the last 30 years. So.
And meanwhile, people were walking out with like 5 to 10 of them in their hands, you know?
Yeah, no limits on things that you could buy. So, and it same went for the exclusives. So we waited online I waited online at the Funko Pop store, and not to say that I was trying to take advantage of having a media pass. I got in the
general
center probably 5 minutes before the general folks got in, and things were already sold out. And the folks that were buying things were other vendors at the event, and they quickly put them up for resale. So there were a couple of pop items that I was able to buy. Things like for example, there was one. This sounds difficult for folks that are not part of, that don't watch the videos for things that are collectibles in Star Wars, but there was one Boba Fett item that I picked up that was $80. And right at the end of that day was being resold from the same vendors that are in the same aisle as Funko for $220. So it's generally unfair the way that things were operated and poorly run in that sense. Overall, fantastic event. The panels were fantastic. It was very difficult to get into things that you wanted to get into because of the sheer magnitude of the folks that were there. The crowds were humongous. Jesse's falling asleep while we're doing the video. But my favorite parts of Celebration.
Yeah, like, oh
sorry,
my God.
These guys are telling me I'm talking too much. But my favorite parts of Celebration this year, the Force Awakens trailer, definitely huge. My second favorite piece was the Rebels Season 2 trailer, and the Rebels events throughout the day on Saturday. They were phenomenal. And I'd say the cosplay again. They were just unbelievable. Awesome. But what were your favorite parts?
The people are dressed up.
That's the cosplay. That's my favorite.
Yeah?
Yep.
Stop it.
Any other favorites?
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks. There was a couple of folks dressed as Jar Jar Binks.
Of course.
I think 2 out of like 100,000 people. But
of course, Chewbacca. He's always my favorite. But I guess the initial J.J. Abrams interview.
Yeah. It's that J.J. Abrams panel, and this is making it sound really ridiculous. I mean, it was really an emotional moment to be able to see.
I fell asleep.
Jesse was falling asleep because we were completely jet lagged at that point. But to see the new cast with the original cast put up there, and I'm a huge fan of J.J. Abrams prior to even his involvement with Star Wars, and to know how he operates, not giving out information beforehand, and seeing the amount of information that he gave out, although it's still, it's
just a little bit.
Cards close to the vest. It was awesome. It was awesome. And seeing, I'm going to get this stupid droid's name wrong constantly, but
BB-8.
BB-8. To see that roll out on stage, and it's not a graphic.
Oh yeah, it was wild.
It's incredible. Yeah, so I guess actually one of my other favorite parts was seeing the Force Awakens stuff up close. So we saw the props.
The props and
we
all
saw
the clothes.
The outfits and things like that. And that was one more thing that we lucked out because we saw that on Thursday.
A 20-minute wait.
20-minute wait for us to get in, and by the time that we were getting ready to leave yesterday, the wait was over 4 hours to get into that room.
Just the room with the props, just to take pictures and walk around and look.
And we've got that video uploaded separately, so if you guys ever just wanted to jump ahead and check out the costumes. And I had a whisper. I know there was a couple of comments on the thing about like trying to whisper and everything, but it was like going to a library, and people you get like murdered for like talking over people's videos because everybody's trying to do the same thing. But, so that was Celebration. I thought that was a lot of fun. Next Celebration is in London. I was hoping that they would announce a stateside celebration in addition to the European celebration. So all of the UK viewers that follow us and love Star Wars, you guys are in for a treat.
Oh yeah.
So because that's going to be after the movie comes out. and actually after Star Wars weekends next year.
Yeah,
so
it's June 15 to 17.
July.
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 15, 17, 2016.
Yep. So that's good. Unless there's a miracle, the cheap seats are not going to London. I think, this happened. The last European celebration was in Germany, and we wanted to go. But if I go to Germany, or if we're going to London, or let me put this out there, if we, these are the top cities that I think I'd ever, or countries that we'd ever want to visit. We want to visit England. We want to visit Germany. We want to visit Ireland. These are countries that we have heritage from. We want to visit Japan and China, and if celebration is, Star Wars is having events over in these areas, I wouldn't want to take away from being able to appreciate those countries for what they are to go to a Star Wars celebration.
No.
So as much as I love Star Wars, we were in California, but we spent 80% of the time inside of the same building.
Yep.
So. Anyway, moving on. Celebration. Awesome stuff. Tons of videos. I'm up to editing day 2 of celebration now.
Day 2.
So, day 1 is uploading, and it was 45 minutes. I chopped that down from 100 and, 100. I think it was like an hour and 35 minutes worth of footage that
Yes,
we
100.
went.
Luke drinks out of the Death Star.
Yeah. Yeah, so. Let's talk about Disneyland. So we finally made it to Disneyland, and we ended up doing 2-day park hopper passes.
Park hopper.
And Jesse always makes fun of the way I say things. So we did the 2-day park hopper passes because we got there so late on Wednesday when we got in. We were hoping that we would, our plane landed a little after 12 on Wednesday. We were hoping that we would get like a rental car and then magically shoot to Disney and pick things, our tickets and get in there, and it didn't work. We got to Disney after like 4 o'clock, and surprise, surprise, there was no like Twilight tickets and stuff, so we paid full price, like idiots, because I didn't buy ahead of time. The celebration folks had discounts if you bought tickets ahead of time. We didn't. Long story short, Disneyland was amazing. It was amazing enough that I was happy that we bought 2-day tickets. The downside was the second day that we went to Disneyland was on Saturday night. Sunday night.
Really?
Yeah, Sunday night, because it's Monday night now, and it was painful to walk around at that point. Like, my legs were screaming.
Yeah.
But Disneyland was amazing, and I know that everybody comes to Disney World, and makes their trips to Disney World, and I want to take business away from the state of Florida because we love your tax dollars and your vacation dollars over here. But I would say at this point, we're pretty locked in as experts at Disney World, and we have that place on lockdown. But Disneyland was a new experience, and I'm very thankful for everybody's comments and feedback, for tips and tricks and stuff. But I think what we tried to do was hit the rides that we don't have here, and get on stuff that we thought was really cool. So what did you think was cool?
Indiana Jones. That was awesome.
What did you think?
The Cars, Indiana Jones, and the California Screamin'.
Okay. Indiana Jones was a big thing for us to hit. That's a huge movie for us, and we don't have that ride. It's essentially Dinosaur, but with Indiana Jones.
It's like Dinosaur, but crazy 10 times.
Yeah. The ride was so fast. I mean, I had to try to edit that video because I normally would film video with pivot heads or GoPro, and I filmed it with the pocket cam holding it.
And he almost
dropped it. I was almost flying out of my seat, so I love the ride. The one bummer was Indiana Jones, we went by it two times or more when we got to the park to try to get in it, and the ride was constantly broken down. So then that seemed to be the case with rides over and over again at Disneyland, whether it was there or California Adventure. Rides were either closed or broken down temporarily, and when you have a little bit of time to play with, it's a bummer when the stuff isn't working. Indiana Jones was awesome. Disneyland itself, I mean, it is a much smaller park, I think, than Disney Magic Kingdom.
It's tightly packed.
Yeah.
But with Florida, we have all space.
Yeah, and the rides even that we have here that are in Disneyland, I really thought that like so many of them were better in Disneyland, and I don't know
Very
if there's-
different.
local people that are watching the
They're gonna yell at us.
the channel and here saying like they're probably gonna think I'm crazy, but
Mr. Frogs.
Pirates,
Mr. Toad.
yeah, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I can't even remember that ride when it was at Disney World. But that ride is crazy,
It's
and
dark and dismal. Oh
yeah.
my
So we took
goodness.
the whole ride video. We'll put up that ride video separate at some point. But wow, who would think that there would be a ride at Disney where you go into hell with the devil?
you get killed by a train and then you're
Yeah.
dead. It's like,
So-
what?
But that ride was crazy good.
Pirates.
Pirates of the
Oh,
Caribbean.
Pirates was good too.
Yeah, so everybody told us check out Pirates, and we made dinner reservations at Blue Bayou, which expanded multiple times because we had other friends that we hooked up with at the park to accommodate them. Pirates was amazing. I am not a Pirates of the Caribbean fan at Disney World, but at Disneyland, it had like the old feel of that ride with like the skeletons more so and everything, and then you get into like the regular animatronics and
But it had the skeleton on the ship, too.
yeah.
And don't
Yeah.
sit in the front seat when it's cold out.
Yeah, so we did get wet again on the ride. I think it only happens to us
I know.
when we're on that ride, but and ever since then, like there's hard water stains on my camera, so it'll probably be stuff here again until I try to clean it. But so we did the intro the other day with that on the Woo, and it looks like we're in outer space. There's dots all over the lens. Pirates was awesome. It's a small world. That is the most annoying ride in the world at Disney World, at Magic Kingdom. At Disneyland, I wanted to go on it more than one time. We just didn't have the time to do it, but it was awesome, right?
Yeah, a bunch of Disney characters are actually in the ride, which Walt Disney World doesn't have.
Yeah. And the Snow White dark ride we went on, that was awesome.
That was
The
spooky.
witch kills people and has the skeletons in their basement.
Yeah. It's another strange oddity of Disney rides.
Well, it's a dark Snow White.
Yeah.
That's why.
She kills
What I would
everybody.
say is the Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom is a million times better than the Disneyland version. You guys know, I mean, if there's one ride that we could probably qualify as experts on at any of these parks, it's the Haunted Mansion. We've been on that ride hundreds and hundreds of times. That's my favorite ride in any of the parks. And the one in California was weird, where you're walking through and some of the stuff is, from the Magic Kingdom house is in the walking area. The guy hanging himself in the beginning is much longer in Disneyland. It's like a much darker place.
It's an elevator.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah, and you
queue.
could actually see like when the paintings are stretching, you could feel the you kind of
And like
lowering yourself down because
when
it's
you
like an
get
elevator.
in there, there's like the metal on it. It's not just like straightforward.
Yeah,
where,
there's like
you
no
go-
carpet on the edges. It looks like the elevator metal divider between the
Yeah.
the doors. But I like the actual queue where all the spider webs are when you're
Yeah.
walking through. That's kind of, I wish it was here.
Yeah, and I like going through the house because you can't really see the house at Magic Kingdom, but it looks like you're going into like a regular house at Disneyland. So that part is actually cool. What else? California Adventure. There's not a park like that here, so it's tough to compare. It's kind of like Hollywood Studios.
Tower Terror.
Yeah, it's everything that Hollywood Studios is, but better.
But more.
Much better. And like when they're doing all of this expansion at Hollywood Studios, then I would expect them to probably say something shortly around like the Star Wars Land and Pixar stuff. The stuff at California Adventure, man, that California Screamin' ride. Jesse and I were just talking about it before.
It's cool.
It is a cool ride, and most roller coasters are like thrill rides.
Yeah, but this is more fun.
Yeah, it is just so much fun. The second you get off that ride, I wanted to go on it again. We were high-fiving each other in the videos, or
You did on the
low-fiving.
first night. You went right back on it.
Yeah, no.
No, we
I thought
didn't.
you
No,
did.
we didn't go back on it again. We wanted
Oh, okay.
to. World of Color kind of screwed up those plans. But,
No Ferris wheel either.
yeah, and the Ferris wheel broke down 2 times when we were there, so we
Well, it
didn't get to
didn't break
ride it.
down, but they just stopped it because.
Yeah, the first time they stopped it, and anyway,
Yeah.
it's a bummer.
We
But
went on the swings.
yeah, Jessie went on the swings. She liked that. But the California Screamin', what a fun roller coaster. As far as like thrilling or thinking, like I still love the Hulk and I love the Mummy, but California Screamin', I'm so glad that I shot video of that. We shot video, POV video, daytime and daytime.
Daytime and nighttime.
Nighttime and daytime.
Not daytime.
And it's like a different ride both ways. And I'm gonna watch that video over and over again. I already watched it a couple of times. It was such a fun ride.
I had fun holding everybody's bags.
And the Cars ride, it is so much better than Test Track. It's like Test Track, but so much better. So much more to it.
It's more of a story.
Yeah, and it's Cars. I mean, the Cars stuff. I like the Cars movies a lot, but Disney brought the car movies to life in that section.
I won the race.
Yeah. Both times that we rode that, at least I rode it, there was no car opposite us. But,
The first time we all, like me and him went, and the car went before us, and then we went because it broke down, and the second time I won the race.
so, I wish, I kind of like cross my fingers and wish that they bring that ride over to Hollywood Studios, because it was just awesome.
I'm glad I went on, but I probably won't go on again.
And then Tower of Terror was very similar to our Tower of Terror, except, I think in Disney or in Hollywood Studios, you go forward into the groove to be able to go up and down, and some of the visuals are different, but same concept, or mechanics of the ride. You go up, you go down, and whatever.
It felt different.
Yeah, but anyway. Disneyland was a blast. We didn't get to Hollywood Studios. There just wasn't enough time, and it didn't make sense logistically to try to end things early at, Universal Studios. I'm so tired. But it would have been like a 40-45 minute drive to get over to Hollywood and get on that stuff.
Universal.
But,
it's in Hollywood?
Yeah, in Hollywood.
That's why it's confusing.
But we didn't do that, so maybe next time. But that's it. Any other thoughts?
No, we're just exhausted. We need to go to sleep.
Yeah, and the only other thing we bought, at least seriously, I did like one of those cone drinks. So one more souvenir drink from Cars Land.
Ice cream.
One more.
Yeah, the cone cup was awesome, and we had such a hard time with luggage coming back home from California. We had to pay extra because one of our bags was too heavy because the other bag we had so much collectibles from Star Wars Celebration.
One whole entire suitcase is just stuff.
Large 29-inch suitcase filled with stuff, but that we had to fit that cone into the suitcase. It had to come home with us. So. And one of the shirts that we got. Anyway, we'll give you guys an overview tomorrow of the goodies that we brought home. So, because this video is going on and on forever. But
yes.
Anyway, we're gonna sign off for now. We're rambling because we're on that vacation high right now. But tomorrow is the back to work low, and back to school. So we gotta get to sleep because we're gonna be super jet lagged in the morning.
Oh yeah.
On that note, thank you for all of the likes. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your subscriptions.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Treat others the way you want to be treated. Now you
Good
can
night.
say goodbye.